What's up, everybody? Welcome to Dueling Aces for February 19th, aka Daytona 500 Day, which just literally cleared up about, half an hour ago?
Yeah, roughly.
Roughly. One good wipeout deserves another, of course, at the end.
You know what? It wasn't a wreck fest.
It was kind of
No,
boring.
There were two wrecks.
30 laps.
I was going to say, yeah, there were only two major wrecks.
Well,
Right?
three, because there was one in the first stage that was. There was a wreck in stage one,
Lap 6.
and that one wasn't even awful. It was just, kind of happenstance. Somebody got shoved into somebody else, and
Typical Daytona.
yeah, it wasn't. I mean, all in all, it wasn't a bad Daytona 500. It certainly wasn't overly memorable, but it wasn't awful.
I thought it was cool, though, that you actually got to see a lot of green flag stops and see who was coming with who and stuff like that. That was kind of different because you don't get that a lot, Because hell, they said at one point, I think there was only 3 cautions, and it was the first one on lap 6 and then the 2 cautions after the stages.
2 cautions. I mean, they were racing hard, but they were racing clean for most of it. Bubba Wallace was my highest finishing driver in my fantasy lineup this week.
Did Zolt actually get his in time?
Did Zolt?
Yeah.
What's his team name?
I didn't get mine in.
Because there's mine. There's Streaking in My Pants, which I think is George.
Oh, it automatic renewed mine?
Yep. There's Acres. Money Like Moody, which I think is Zolt. And then Not So Happy Without Harvick is Chipper. And
yeah, I guarantee you Money Moody thing is Zolt hands down.
Well, Zolt won.
Of course he did.
Shocker.
With 135 points. I came in second with 97. And then Chipper came in third with 81. But I mean, I thought I had a good lineup.
It doesn't matter at Daytona or Talladega. You should know this.
Well, I went with Wallace, Hamlin, Keselowski, Blaney, Stenhouse, and McDowell.
Hamlin's always a good one because of the fact that he's got 3.
Keselowski's a great super speedway racer. Blaney's a good super speedway racer.
Just not the 500.
This is true. He always ends up wrecking right at the end.
Always.
Which is what happened to him again.
Now, whose fault do you think that was? Just happenstance because of Daytona and everybody, is coming down to the wire and,
No, that started with Brad and Joey. Joey shoved Chastain way out front. Brad pulled a move, got around Joey. Joey went to block him, squeezed Brad, shoved him back into line. Brad shoved Joey way out and got around him. When he shoved Joey way out and got around him and he caught up to Chastain, Byron was coming with a shove from Bowman. And if you watch the replay, Bowman didn't hit him square. He hit him off center. And if you don't hit him square and you hit him on either side, you run the risk of turning him.
That's exactly what happened.
And so he hit him in the right rear, and it wasn't intentional to turn him. He just hit him.
Right.
And when he hit him, he turned Byron in such a way that it clipped Keselowski and sent Byron spinning, but avoided all of the bullshit. But it sent Keselowski right up into the wall, into Blaney and Logano right behind him. And then that cascaded the whole thing. So the shenanigans started with Brad and Joey being a douche pickle to begin with.
Well, the thing is think about how many times Brad's been in the front and who's wrecked him. It's always the 22.
I'm I wouldn't be surprised if there was a visit paid to Logano's coach this evening by the number 6. I can guarantee you that Atlanta next week, they're not going to help him.
Well, I thought it was kind of weird that like this year was the first year you heard a lot of guys play the selfish role, if you want to call it that, and say they're not here to help teammates or help other guys and worry about pushing who or this or that. They're all about like how Hamlin said he was all for himself, which that just sounds like Denny though.
But I get it because I'm so tired of hearing what a manufacturer's orders are.
Right. Well, Ford says you got to run with Ford guys. Who cares if I win the 500 and give you the win? Who gives a shit who I run with?
I'm putting myself in the playoffs for a chance at the championship. And if I win the Daytona 500 or any other race during the year, guess what? We're automatically in the Owners' Championship.
Hello.
What's that?
It's like hello. I mean, that's just a way to do it. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, if I'm a crew chief and I'm watching, let's say I'm crew chief and Brad, and I noticed that the Toyotas are on an advantageous pit strategy. Guess what? I don't care that I'm a Ford A team. Hey, Brad, come on down with the Toyotas. They're doing something different, and we might be able to capitalize on it.
Well, Brad was apparently wanting to do everything that Joey was doing because of how Joey's strategies worked for him in the last couple of years at Daytona. That's why they waited until Joey pitted to pit with him.
The Toyotas.
Well, the funny thing about the Toyotas is that the fact that they talked about all week they were worried about not having speed, and then it got to qualifying. But look what they did in the duels, and then what they did today. Like they're fine.
Yeah, but qualifying setup and dual setup are entirely different things. So many guys forsake qualifying so that they can get a better setup for the duels in the 500 because you're going to get a better handle of what your car is going to do in the duels than you are in qualifying.
Yeah, because of the draft.
Joey set his car up, and him and his crew chief and his engineers got lucky because they had a setup that worked not only for qualifying but for the duels and for the 500.
You kind of feel bad for McDowell considering he started outside on the pole and then just disappeared.
He had electrical issues. I'd be curious to find out later in the week what those issues were.
And see if they can pinpoint exactly what it was.
Yeah, because they didn't really talk about it too much. And I'm wondering if he was having battery troubles or if he was having like a short going to the fuel pump, because he came by at one point and it sounded like that thing was on 7 cylinders. So.
What's up, Kev? I saw Jason Bennett. His comment's not popping in. I don't know why.
He just said he's here
so he doesn't get fined.
We would never do that to you, Jason.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I'm.
What's up, Russ? I was gonna say I kind of put on the other thing just to see why some of the comments aren't kicking through. It's like don't know why. Crazy Facebook. What can we say?
I'm curious to see. With what the ratings were for the 500.
Let me ask you this though: what's your thoughts on? I never know. Everybody's complaining on Facebook and on social media platforms about not seeing the white flag come out.
The white flag was out.
The people are arguing like conspiracy theorists and stuff, saying that it's they're trying to say that it's fixed because of the 40-year thing for Hendricks, and they finished 1-2.
Here's the thing: there's a camera shot that's on the flag stand, right, and on the start finish line. Every car that was still on the track at the end of that race crossed the start finish line before the yellow lights lit up. That final wreck happened 100 yards. It was at the other end of the infield. That wreck started at the other end of the infield. They were well into the final lap before that wreck started. So
I just want to see. I want to see Daytona just go to the hell with it and just say we're not going to finish this until we finish it. I don't care how many cautions we have. We're going to run this until we get a winner until that we can get a green flag finish. If that means we only got a 3-car heat race or whatever, so be it.
I don't think you can do that, to be honest with you.
I think it'd be fun though. Granted, it might get annoying after all the caution after caution and cars getting taken out, but kind of like a fight to the finish kind of thing.
I think you could do that at the All-Star race. That would be fun there, especially like a tight bull ring like North Wilkesboro.
Yeah,
that would be fun there. But I think at Daytona, especially with the speeds that those guys get in the pack and how hard the new cars hit. I mean, you saw Blaney's wreck from
the duels.
The duels. I think he broke his wrist tonight.
Ooh.
No, he said his wrist was fine. They interviewed him in the infield care center.
I wouldn't be surprised if he has a broken bone in his wrist. And Kevin Gibson, there's plenty of NASCAR tracks with right turns.
Sorry, I got a message, Jason, because he's like talking about my headphones. I'm like, these are actually my gaming headphones. So when I do play Call of Duty, these are the ones I use.
Watkins Glen, Chicago, Charlotte.
Yeah, I can't. I'm looking forward to that Chicago race this year. I know a lot of people don't like street races, but I'm kind of curious to see how it goes.
Did you not watch last year's?
Mm-mm.
It's a good race.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think we were either on vacation or I think that might have been the weekend we moved or something, but it was just, I was busy
July
that weekend.
4th weekend.
We were doing something. That's why I didn't get a chance to watch it.
It was a good race. If tickets weren't so expensive and lodging out there wasn't so expensive, I would try to go to that race. I would legitimately like to go to Indy this year. Because
Real.
Yeah, I already said there's plenty
road
of
course.
Lots of road course.
But that brings there's people already talking about the 2025 schedule. And the possibility of going to Montreal again, which would be fun.
It's a road course, right?
Yeah, it's a road course. But what road course do you take off you're going to have to lose one. What are you taking off?
They already got rid of the Indy road course, correct?
Yeah, it's the 30th anniversary this year of the Brickyard.
So they're going back to the Oval.
They're going back to the Oval. But I have a feeling that once they go back to the Oval with this car, they're not going to leave it. Because I think this car is going to put on a really good race at the Oval.
Trying to think, well, how many do you have? Watkins Glen, Sonoma, the Roval, Charlotte Roval. Or
so you have Coda.
Oh, Circuit of the Americas.
You got Coda. You've got the Roval. You've got the Glen. You've got Sonoma. There's 6 total.
They don't run the one in Wisconsin, do they, in the Cup? I thought it was just maybe Xfinity.
They used to. They don't anymore. The street course is 5. And then I think are they going to Portland this year? Now I got to pull it up. I got to pull up the full schedule. Coda. Sonoma.
What's up, Mr. Fox? How are you, sir?
Chicago. Watkins Glen. And then the Roval are the only road courses this year. Last year was 6.
So this year's 5.
This year's 5.
Which a lot of people that don't like the road courses will complain that that's 4 too many, but it is what it is. I like road coursing because I think it tells you who your true drivers are.
You race almost 36 races. I think you should have a good mixture of all of them.
Well, here let me ask you this question, because I know you're big into NASCAR as well. I'm under the impression that I wish that they would start and end the season at Daytona.
I don't like that idea at all.
Because of the points at the end, the last race of the season, somebody could get knocked out and lose the championship at Daytona.
I like ending the regular season there because I like the idea that anybody
Can sneak in if need be.
I like that anybody can sneak in, but I think you have to do. I know there's sponsorship obligations, and I know people aren't going to come out to watch 16 cars race, but to be quite honest with you, instead of eliminating cars per round, if you want to make Phoenix or whatever your championship race is, wherever the track you're at, interesting, through
Do
each
8?
round of the
Do 8 in the final?
Nope. Through each round, when you would eliminate a driver, that sets their starting position at the final race. So you're going to eliminate 4, right? After the round of 16. Take it down to the round of 12. So you're going to start your 16th, your 15th, your 14th, and your whatever, 13th starter.
In that position.
And so on and so forth. You go by points, right? All the way to after you finish Martinsville, you're going to know who your pole sitter is for that race. And you and you take all 16 and you let all 16 run for a championship, not just 4, all 16.
Why not be more interesting? Make it more interesting. If you're 16th, you start first. If you're first, you start 16th.
I hate that.
Really?
Because it doesn't reward consistency.
Okay.
If I'm good, so like Martin Truex had a really shitty playoff, right?
Awful
first round of the playoffs. They got progressively better throughout, but Denny Hamlin was fairly consistent throughout the playoffs. He probably would have started, if you go off of what I wanted to do, I think he would have started 5th. And he'd had a chance. Chastain. If you go off of what I want to do, Chastain would have won your championship last year, not Blaney. Chastain would have been your champion.
Not to change the subject, but I did not realize SVG starting 5th in the race tonight.
Yeah, he qualified really well.
Wow. Had an awful ARCA race. Who ended up winning the ARCA race? Or no, Dean, didn't it? Wasn't it Dean?
Because he plowed through his teammate.
I don't care. I'm still a fan of that kid that I put in the chat where he said, I'm putting my foot to the pedal until I see God or the checkered flag. I'm like, I like this kid.
Dude, NASCAR jumped all over that. That's a t-shirt already.
Yeah. Is it really?
Yes.
I'm getting it.
I want it. I totally want it. That was great.
Until I see God or the checkered flag.
Yep.
I love Cindric's comment right after that. My man.
Yeah, that was a great comment. That was awesome. I said, Adam, I was like, hell yeah. I said, I don't know who the kid is. I'm like, but I'm a new fan.
I'm a big fan of him now. I will follow him from his ARCA series all the way through. If he goes to Truck or wherever, I will follow him.
I want to see if Sheldon Creed wrecks Austin Hill tonight in the Xfinity race.
Didn't Creed switch teams or no?
Creed went to JGR.
Because he was with Childress, correct?
He was with Childress, and they were screwing him over hard. I want to see if if he wrecks him.
Look how bad the stands cleared out too.
There's still a lot of people there.
There is, but there's a lot that left too, though. But I get it.
That's okay. Look, hey,
I mean, what are you?
I was impressed with the amount of people that stayed over for the 500 today.
Right.
I just want to know who let Juan Pablo Montoya drive the jet dryers to clear the track this afternoon.
Juan Pablo?
Oh, that's brutal.
Did you not see that, Adam?
I was the one that shared it.
Oh, were you the one that shared it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's the one that
Yeah, I
shared
said I want to know who let Juan Pablo drive the jet dryers today.
Oh, you cut out before it got to Juan Pablo. I didn't hear the Juan Pablo. It's just
Yeah.
Just because I forgot. Let me send it in the chat so that way you can see it. There was an update that came across
About the 500?
No, about the jet dryer crash. I just sent it.
Oh, good Lord.
So how do you pronounce the kid's name? Andy Jakowak? Wyatt?
I knew you could appreciate that.
Oh, that is wrong.
Hey, Court, hey.
That is wrong. That is so wrong.
AJ Allmendinger finished third tonight, right? In the 500. Corey LaJoie finished fourth.
I picked him he was one of my three. We did a 3-pick thing on another show, and I picked him, Reddick, and Hamlin, which I like Corey LaJoie.
I think that Corey LaJoie in the next couple of years is going to be the next superstar driver.
Just so everybody can share in on the joke.
You know, I remember watching that Daytona 500 live when that happened.
Yeah.
And I can just remember DW's call. What happened? He just slid up in the jet dryer.
I'll tell you what, I give a lot of these guys credit. A lot of these guys are running this race too. Like Riley
There's 8 of them?
Yeah. That John Hunter Nemechek.
Daniel Hemrick, John Hunter Nemechek, Riley Herbst, AJ Allmendinger.
After they just got done driving.
After they just got done doing the 500. They're doing the Xfinity race. 800 miles.
Allmendinger.
It's 800 miles total today.
Oh, good
500 miles in the Daytona 500 and 300 miles in the Xfinity race.
I'm also curious to see how the two ladies do as well with Haley Deegan and Natalie Decker.
I was going to say the guys already kind of know how the track is, but I mean, it's a totally different car.
It's a better car. I think that the Xfinity car is racier.
I do too.
And
plus I like the Supra.
They're I heard, so they got a new Camry body this year for Toyota, and Ford got the Dark Horse Mustang. And because this is the last year of the Camaro, nobody knows what Chevy's going to do next year. And I saw it was an AI generated thing, but it doesn't look AI generated. I'll share it in the chat. You can put it up, George. But it looks like it's from the Detroit Auto Show. It looks amazing. It's a Cadillac.
Oh, I think I did see that.
What? They're getting rid of the Camaro?
Yeah, it's not going to be in production anymore.
Yeah, the Mountain Dew one, I did see that. That does look pretty sweet.
Hang on. Let me get it here. I'm going to try to.
Suarez from Monterrey, Mexico.
He had a nice run in the 500 until he got wrecked.
Suarez?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I like that green too.
It's not a bad looking car.
No. That's pretty smooth. That was really nice.
Mm-hmm. What's
So we're just gonna right around the top. Go. Well, we got the first 10, and let's see.
they'll build another line. You know they will.
I'm just seeing how many we had. I'm just trying to see that single file line, how many were in it.
Oh, like 15.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Every time I go to count, I get to a certain spot, and then it changes cameras, and I'm like, I ain't trying to do that again.
I tell you what, I know a lot of people bitched about them putting mufflers on the cars, the new next gen cars. But man, those cars are ridiculously loud, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we went to Michigan a couple of years ago when the next gen car debuted, and at Michigan they were annoyingly loud. And Michigan's a 2-mile track.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
the
I'm trying to get to a race this year.
Kevin says he wants one.
I mean,
It's a nice looking car.
it's a sweet looking. I wouldn't, but I was telling the wife this, and I told the son this. They went to one of those, crank it up things on Fox during the 500. The way that they put those mufflers on those cars, and the way that sound echoes in Daytona, man, that sounds nice when they're running two by two all the way back.
Oh, speaking of which, too, just to throw it out there, that I'm waiting, and I swear to God, they better bring it up if it happens. But Frankie Muniz is in this race, and if he gets in the middle at some point, I better hear him knock him in the middle, some sort of joke or something line.
They did it last year during an ARCA race.
Did they really?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, it was fun to watch them go 3 wide and then to see who was going to get left out. I liked it, and it was funny how it got to 3 wide with 15 to go.
When they went 3 wide before the big wreck, when who was that? Was that Byron? I forget who that, or Blaine.
Kyle Busch was out front on one of the times when they were coming out on the outside.
Somebody, it might have been during stage 2, but somebody had a huge run coming off a 2 down the backstretch and shoved him 3 wide because the camera was tight on the 2, and then all of a sudden you saw just the third lane come out of nowhere. I don't know how I feel yet about Harvick and Clint in the booth together.
You don't like it?
I don't think Clint meshes well with Harvick.
Well, I do like the fact that they had for his first interview
with Kyle Busch.
Yeah, that was pretty
Kyle
good.
Busch. I laughed so hard. And the first video clip that they played was, so is the feud with Kyle Busch over? He's like, I don't think it'll ever be over. It reminded me of an old NWA clip when Ole Anderson turned on Dusty after Ole and Dusty's cutting a promo. It'll never be over. Ole Anderson, it'll never be over.
I don't know. Kevin just seems like he doesn't have the energy like Clint, so that's why I can see why you say they don't mesh. Kevin's just real reserved and quiet.
I think it's too fresh for him.
Yeah.
I think he'd have been served. I get wanting to grab him right out of the car. But I think he'd have been better served to take a year and just go hang out with Keelan and his wife and Harper and do some stuff in the NASCAR realm, but be kind of invisible for a while and then come back and do. I mean, it's an old wrestling adage. How can we miss you if you won't go away?
Oh, dear Lord. Oh,
How
wow.
is everybody?
Oh, wow.
It's not even the right driver.
That's why he did that.
I'm dying.
I did a quick Google search, and this is what he said was
In most
the
instances,
best NASCAR driver ever. So this is what
Oh, my God.
in most instances, I would consider you a friend, but right now, I wouldn't pee on you if you were on fire in front of me.
So let me guess. Did you say you went with the most hated driver?
No, I did a quick Google search, and this was the best NASCAR driver ever. So this is what came up. So
San Francisco's favorite driver.
I don't think so.
Hey, look
How
at the
is
bright side. Moody is money, right?
I don't know what you're talking about. I never got an invite.
Jeff Gordon did get a little chubby. He did.
You're right. Perfect timing on that. Good Lord. Wow.
Look, man,
He might be on the floor, or he might be behind the couch. He was over there.
You know, I've got to give you at least A for effort. I'll go with that.
I'm turning over a new leaf. My goal every week now is to just pick somebody at random and just annoy the hell out of them.
You're doing a good job already.
Yeah.
Starting off with A+.
At one point, I looked at the scores, and I was like, "How the hell does he have 190 points in stage 2? How?"
At one point, it was over 200.
I know. I'm well aware.
He didn't want to bring that up, though. He figured 190 was enough.
I've been sitting on my couch all day waiting for the 500 because, somebody got the glorious gift of COVID from their children.
Right. Well, I mean, it's not the big a deal. When you only got to put in like the 60% effort to get the W,
wow,
it's all good.
Oh, my God.
This is where he has the advantage because he's a stats man.
I hope that Michigan and Detroit lose all of their games next season.
Hey, what did I do to you?
Oh my God. Oh, wow.
And now to let everybody in on the little secret, it's not that Dave's an introvert, which is why he doesn't go to anything. No, Dave knows that there's receipts coming.
Well played.
Ed is smart. No, I'd have been sitting pretty. I think you and I probably would have been pretty close to each other had my lineup not gotten just destroyed in that wreck.
Yeah, I'm like passing interest. I'm assuming there was a wreck early on that wiped out.
No,
only lap.
Oh, I know there was one at the end.
Nine laps left.
The one at the beginning took out back markers. It took out Jimmy Johnson, took out Austin Dillon. It took John Hunter Nemec. It took out back marker cars. Harrison Burton. 21. It took out back marker cars. It really wasn't anything awful. The wreck with 9 to go is the one that destroyed the field. So that was the one that really kind of screwed me and screwed others.
I almost jumped in at the last minute too.
Jump in next week.
Clip of it, right?
You're going to automatically be in 4th, and by the end of the season, you will pass me as well because we have proven the last 2 years that I'm the one that puts in effort and I lose consistently.
I was gonna say, I totally forgot to set it up today.
Somebody's got to finish in second, and
last year it wasn't me; it was you.
It's wide open.
Who won last year?
Chipper.
Oh, wow. Oh, here we go. Starting that second line now.
I was like, wait a minute. There's another Truex. There's another Truex.
Yeah, Ryan.
Yeah, it's his brother, Ryan.
I saw the number and I saw Truex. I'm going, well, wait a minute. That's a R.
Yeah, that's Ryan.
Back room.
Thomas said he didn't take him out there.
I like the number 5 car though. Sponsored by Dude Wipes.
It's with Dude what?
Dude Wipes.
They're for your grundle.
Is that who wiped out the field?
Oh.
Yeah.
We're talking about the Xfinity race that is now
right now. Don't worry, you don't have to make picks for it, Zolt.
The one that's going to like midnight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I will be watching till it concludes.
Yeah.
Because I need to feel good about something today.
True.
Ain't no guarantees. It's a Monday,
Hey, I'm just psyched Joey Logano didn't win, to be honest with you.
right?
Why do people hate that dude so much?
I can't stand him
He
because
keeps
he's fake and
hosing
he's
me in
popping.
fantasy. He hoses me in the fantasy. So yeah,
That's why I like him is because everybody hates him.
I keep putting him in, and he keeps sucking when I put him in.
Oh,
And then when I pick somebody else, that's when he wins.
that's not. That,
Sounds about right.
that's just
Like,
underwater.
Whatever. I'm just picking
Just right
numbers.
there, you big silly head.
I don't like Joey Logano because I think he's fake and pompous.
I know there's a lot of people that say he's got what is it, the daddy's money thing and stuff like that. That he
It's
didn't
not the
really earn.
daddy's money thing. If you listen to him talk, like,
Oh, you mean short track racing?
well,
When
not
Daddy-
even, like when he turned William Byron a couple of years ago at Darlington, when Byron pinched him and didn't give him any room, and Joey turned himself, and then later on in the day, Joey turned him for the win, and then he went on social media and radio and talked about how well he had it coming. How?
No, I get it.
And then the beef with Ty Gibbs that went back to last year when Joey turned Ty Gibbs and started the whole thing. Joey Logano is NASCAR's Zolt. He doesn't go anywhere because he knows he's got receipts coming.
He always shows up on Sunday, though.
That's true.
Didn't show up today.
It's Monday.
Sunday. Right? Speaking of Sunday, was caught up and celebrated Christmas with my dad yesterday, and we're at my brother's house, and he's got the golf invitational on, and that Matsuyama shot a 9 under to come out of nowhere and go 17 under for the whole thing and win it. I was like, holy crap. It was like this dude was a machine.
This
And
is
he
what
knew
we've come to. We're talking about golf because there's no football.
Well, that's what was on yesterday. I mean, there was no Daytona yesterday, so that
We
was
can talk
fine.
about the pitchers and catchers report.
I could still talk about football.
We don't need to talk about football.
I was going to say, when is the fan football starting?
I don't even know. I don't think they're doing a season this year.
Oh
Well,
no!
I'd have to double check.
UFL
Okay,
starts on the 30th of March.
Yeah, UFL's right around the corner.
That was smart to bring The Rock there to the 500 for that too.
That
Yeah,
what is it? Franchise tags open up.
Tuesday.
15th, ain't it?
Yeah, it was good. It's either later this week or it's early next week. It's
I
one
thought
of
it
the
was
two.
Tuesday they opened up.
It could be. All right. Well, let's see.
Well, you know what cracks me up is
Google this.
as George would call it, fake news. But you start getting all these reports now of what the team should do. Like obviously Mike Tannenbaum's dumbass with his stupid trade proposal of, Whatz into the Giants for Danny Dimes. Like, come on, dude. Now, the other one I'm hearing is Deshaun Watson to the Bears for Justin Fields.
Honestly, you guys can't afford to trade him.
Well, that's what I'm
You
saying.
can't.
Like,
I was going to say,
What are we going to get out of him? A Hertz rental car and a United flight certificate?
I mean, okay. Number one, in order to trade him, you have to convince him to completely redo his contract.
and he's
Yeah.
not
It's not
going to.
happening.
Right.
Why would he?
Well, then there's the rumors of the new accusations coming out.
What? More sexual harassment?
Well, the problem is if it's mirrored of what he's already had, it doesn't matter. They can't do anything.
But
Yes,
one's
it
a-
doesn't
they missed-
matter
They missed that window. They missed the window.
unless
this
they're
one-
new.
Well, this one
No.
is a different attorney and a different girl. Like this girl has a different attorney. It's not the same one that all the other girls had. So it's kind of like, honey, you missed your payment plan. When you had a chance and
Right.
you missed, like George said, you missed the window. You should just let it go. But they're trying to bring it up.
They're trying.
Unless it's
They're trying to, but I
There's a
don't think.
wreck.
I don't think it's going. It's not going to pan out.
a new accusation.
Ooh. Daniel Suarez is done.
Unless it's a
yes.
new accusation outside of the time frame of the other ones.
It's not. It's not. It's in
Bruce
the,
was
it's
right.
in the same window.
Franchise tagging can start tomorrow.
Really?
It can start, but then it goes through like March 5th. So lots of time to figure out what you're gonna do. And again, we are literally a week away from the combine. So
How many guys in Michigan have gone to that?
I think it's everybody, right? It's the entire combine is nothing but Michigan guys.
Yeah. Okay, whatever.
18.
18. It's 18.
Yeah, we'll see how many can make it.
They'll all make it. I guarantee it.
No, Clint. This is this is just trying to bring him back so that he doesn't eclipse everybody else. They're just trying to hold him back.
Has he got receipts too?
I mean, yeah. I mean, somebody that talented it's just jealousy. That's all it is.
San Francisco would have won the Super Bowl if they had MVG on the roster still.
No, he wouldn't.
There's an argument to be made.
No, he wouldn't.
Yeah, they would have.
No, he wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't.
He just sucked in that.
Because they would have been. They would have never made it because
they made it to the Super Bowl because of MBG. What are you talking about?
No, they made it because of the defense.
You can have your head up your ass all you want. It's fine.
No. See, they made it without him, and it was because they got defense.
I've seen that rear end. It's ample enough to hold your head. Like I get it.
No.
That defense was nothing without MVG.
That made no sense. That made no sense.
The leadership just
whatever.
Both
Yeah,
rooms,
nice
man.
try. Not gonna happen.
Listen,
when's the schedule?
Not gonna
pitchers
happen.
and catchers report this week.
They already did, I thought.
Yep. Yeah, they did. Yeah, spring training for the Tigers training started today.
Cleveland still have a baseball team?
Yes.
I don't know.
Sort of.
I know there's one. I know there's one in Avon.
There's a major league.
Your hate for the man's greatness is sad, George.
The major league, minor league, or the major minor team in Cleveland?
No, that's actually now the farm team. That league is now the farm team for
No, I'm just saying that the Cleveland team is like a major league version of a minor league team because they don't spend money on nothing and they have a bunch of no-name players.
I wish everybody would stop with you don't spend enough money. You don't have the ability to spend the money like the Yankees or the Red Sox or
even if they did, the Dolans wouldn't.
Well, I was gonna say they're hoarding the money.
But you don't have the ability to.
Oh yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do. Oh, the Dolans absolutely do. They just refuse not to.
The Dolans do not have the amount of money to spend $120 to $300 million on a payroll.
They
don't.
They could if they wanted it.
No, I'm not. That argument is tired. It's played out. It's worn out, and it's ridiculous.
Until the Dolans sell the team, you're going to keep hearing it every year.
Yep.
The Dolans aren't selling the team either.
Yes,
okay,
they are.
This is remarkably similar to everything I've heard for the last 20 years regarding the Ford family in Detroit. We can't win until they sell the team, and they're never going to sell the team. You can overcome. Again, it's a different animal from NFL to MLB because MLB can spend whatever the hell they want, in essence.
Kevin, technically, the Guardians are part of their own television network too, with Bally's.
Hang on, who bought Bally's?
Ooh.
Amazon gave them money.
Amazon bought it.
Yes, yeah. So you can expect to see some baseball games on Prime at some point here. I don't know.
There were baseball. So there were baseball games on Peacock last year too.
Of course, she was in it. Sorry,
she didn't start that though. She got clipped.
I know.
Speaking of baseball, go ahead. I was just gonna say. Speaking of baseball, I was gonna segue to the A's in Vegas.
I haven't I heard.
Yeah.
What's up, Jay?
The mayor of Vegas does not seem to be a fan of the athletics organization.
Well, and that's hey, is what it
Do you
is
want-
though.
Do you want a baseball team or not?
Yeah, I mean
Well-
they already got the land plotted out. The casino's going
Okay,
kaboom here.
here's the problem.
shortly.
According to the mayor, there's 2 plots of land already set aside,
Well,
not
the one
near
that
each other.
They already bought and already established the trop is going down, and that's where it's going.
And they still have provided no plans for the stadium.
I know,
None.
which is crazy.
They still don't have anywhere to play after this year.
You're going to give us a baseball version of the Roomba Stadium?
God, I hope not. I mean, if you're gonna do it, at least make it like SoFi, so it's airy with a roof.
Right.
What's up, Scott? I'm for some weird reason, not all the comments are coming through. Mr. Nickel, what's going on, dude?
I'd like to see. I saw a estimated growth chart for baseball that would have put an expansion team back in Montreal in like 2026.
They're going to need a
Are they
stadium
really?
too, ain't they?
Are they
What's
really
that?
in a position? Are they really in a position to expand?
I don't think so, but I think to me, to be quite honest with you, if I'm a major sports league right now, I'm looking at contraction, to be honest.
I mean, we've certainly talked about that before, and it would probably be a good idea, but there's no way in hell the league's ever doing that.
No, but if you're
It's like saying they need to shorten the schedule. Absolutely, they do. Never going to happen.
if you're MLB and you're what, 30 teams right now?
I knew I saw it somewhere. I did find the drawing for the stadium that a lot of people had reported.
But MLB is 30 teams right now.
Bam. Yeah. That's really get the God blessed ads.
But
Uh,
if you're baseball, let's say you cut out the 6 worst performing teams over the last 10 years. You're talking about
That's a rotation of teams, though.
I mean consistently.
I was going to say, there goes the Athletics.
The Athletics are gone.
That could be the Tigers for all I know.
Guardians.
No, Guardians have made the World Series in the last 10 years. They made the playoffs a couple times in the last 10 years.
Don't feel like it.
But I mean, what
Hang on,
Toronto White Sox?
Does your artist rendering, is that the retractable roof?
Yeah,
Because
that's just the netting.
That's the netting thing
Okay.
that they wanted to. They were putting that over it instead.
Okay.
So over the last 10 years, from
That's the
2014 to 2024, from February 19th, 2014 to February 19th, 2024, the 10 worst performing teams: the Tigers, the Marlins, the Reds, the Royals, the Rockies, the White Sox, the Orioles, the Diamondbacks, the Pirates,
Thought there was another-
and the Rangers.
But yeah, I was gonna say the video board on the casino. I mean, I think everybody's almost going to that right now.
But
Well,
those are the
like
10 teams. Those are the 10 teams you can get rid of. Take it down from 30 down to 20. You cut the games down from 162 to 122.
Yeah, they'll never do that.
And yeah, I was gonna say, and lose like 30% of your TV revenue.
Yep.
But you're already in an extremely niche sport anyway. Baseball does not hold the prominence in American viewing that it once had.
No, they keep screwing with it. That's why.
So I'm telling you, contraction and cutting the games down might be a way to bring it back.
I don't know.
Same with the NBA. I'd cut the NBA down by 6 or 8 teams.
I was gonna say, then you're also looking at doing the same thing to hockey, because hockey's got the same amount of teams.
I would do the same to hockey. The only league that would not really suffer anything in contraction is the NFL. You own an NFL franchise, that's a license to print money. Even the worst performing NFL franchises still make money.
The Jets definitely do.
I mean the consistent ones, the consistently bad ones. The Lions for forever, the Browns for forever. Browns are 3-13 and the stadium's still sold out. The restaurants downtown still make multiple $1 million on a Sunday.
I think the attendance at the Guardians could be up to just because of all the renovations, people wanting to see those. That's it.
That's the problem. That's a short-term fix. That's fixed for this year. Lowering ticket prices, reducing the amount of games, contracting the league from the number of teams that are in it.
Yeah,
Well,
lowering the ticket price is your main thing, because right now it's ridiculous to turn around and try to go to a baseball game.
dude, you want to know how much tickets for monster trucks were on Sunday when we went?
Uh-oh.
How bad?
So we didn't pay this because my wife works for Cleveland Clinic and gets a discount on the events that happen at the queue. But when my dad looked at tickets, for 4 tickets, it was north of $270.
And they ain't got no room in that arena to do what they normally could do.
In Loudville.
Wow.
Not in the concourse level. In Loudville. You're talking $60 a seat at the top of the arena.
On the ceiling.
That's crazy.
So
that's insane. That's insane.
I mean, if you go, let me go to MLB.com right now.
While you're looking up what you're looking up, I found the article I was looking for from the Las Vegas mayor, Carolyn Goodman. Isn't exactly extending a warm embrace to the Oakland Athletics, who plan to build a $1.5 billion stadium in her city. In fact, Goodman said the team's stadium plan does not make sense and that A's ownership should go back to the drawing board and pitch a new plan in the Bay Area. I personally
don't be bringing that trash to our town.
I personally think they got to figure out a way to stay in Oakland to make their dream come true.
Yeah, that's
now the public money has already been quote unquote set aside. I can't remember what it's 380 million or whatever. However, there's legal challenges to that already. So Goodman clarified her comments later on social media, saying that she's excited about the prospect of Major League Baseball in Vegas. She did say that Oakland and the A's should try to make their relationship work in a perfect world. And added, should that fail, Las Vegas has shown it's a spectacular market for major league sports franchises. I swear to God, that almost sounds like we want baseball, just don't make us take the A's.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So I picked a random game. May 6th, Monday night, against the Detroit Tigers. As usual, the bleacher seats are about $15 to $20, depending on where you're sitting.
Right.
The rest of the stadium goes anywhere from $40 to $115 a seat. And they still have over 20,000 tickets available.
Shocking.
Yeah. Most of it's standing room only now, anyways. Or will be.
I'm not. Look, I love the Pirates, and I love that the Indians are good, fairly consistency. But I would love to be able to go to a Pirates game more than once a decade to be able to afford it. It should not be cheaper. It should not be as cheap as it is to go to the Arrows game or the Rubber Ducks, whatever you want to call them, over in downtown Akron versus going up the road to Cleveland to go to a game. They should be on par.
You would think.
I was going to say, even the White Sox against the Tigers, they're showing $100 in box section 120. It's $100 to $151 for the first 4 rows.
Who's paying that?
Per ticket.
Who's paying
Per
that?
ticket.
George, how many seats are available?
A lot.
In the first 4 rows, in this section, only 4.
Well, my punchline is nobody's
not until
going.
row 10. Not until row 10 do you have like the whole row available.
But take your average nuclear family, which is a family of 4, right? So let's say you pay $75 a ticket. That's $300 on tickets right there.
Plus parking.
Hold on. That's $300 on the tickets. Then you had the fees on top of it that they charge you at the box office or online.
Yep.
So that's an additional $30 to $50, depending on which ticket agency you go through. But we'll be liberal with it. We'll say $50. So that's $350 on tickets right there. Now, if you don't go on a 1, 2, 3 night or a dollar dog night or any of the other specials, you go on a random Tuesday, you're looking at anywhere from $40 and $80 to one trip to the concession stand.
Yep.
Then you got souvenirs. That's another $250.
Oh, geez. If you're lucky. Because
if you're lucky.
$45 for a hat.
You're asking
$70 for the t-shirts and sweatshirts.
You're asking American families that are already feeling a pinch economically elsewhere to drop an entire paycheck on one night.
Hell, that might be 2 paychecks.
Depending on the family, it might be, but you're asking them to come to your stadium to watch your team and to drop anywhere between half and a full paycheck for their family.
Premier sporting event.
Yeah,
Kevin, that may work for you, but it doesn't work for everybody, and we're going off of the average.
Right. And Mike's saying, because not all the comments are clicking through. Just a heads up, you guys. Facebook's not playing nice this evening. Mike Stevens saying he's like the Dolans don't spend money. No one wants to pay for a minor league lineup, and until MLB gives a cap space, the small market teams like KC, Cleveland, Detroit can't compete, of course, with New York, LA, Miami, or Frisco.
Don't give me that no one wants to pay for a
Yeah.
minor league lineup. Don't give me that.
No, it's true though.
It's
Put it this
not.
way.
I mean,
That's a cop-out.
Once the Dolans keep flushing all the good players out, and they
That's
keep
a cop-out.
going back.
That's a cop-out. You've made the playoffs more consistently than you haven't in the last 10 years.
See, in my defense, though, I mean, and I'm not going to lie, when I look at the schedule, I go to look to see what teams are coming, so I can go see which player type, is coming. Like if it's the Angels, you want to see Trout or Ohtani, or if you want to see, I wouldn't see the Dodgers, and it was awesome because it was Kluber versus Kershaw was the matchup, so that was cool to see a good pitchers duel. You know what I mean? That's the reason I go to the games is to see who, so I can go see the other team, and as bad as that sounds.
I went to Cleveland a number of years ago when Kershaw was pitching for the Pirates, and saw Cleveland play Pittsburgh.
I mean, especially with the fact that the Dodgers went out and paid 3 players that are probably making more than the whole Guardians roster this year.
Well, yeah, they got Ohtani now, so that now Ohtani's with the Dodgers, so it's like, okay, just added another bat in their lineup because he's not pitching this year.
Okay, but baseball's always been that way, and there's ways to combat that. Teams have figured out ways. I think the biggest issue is once you start heading in the right direction, you bail on it because it starts to become a little expensive, and there's no guarantees.
Be consistent. You get to the World Series, try to get back again the second year and actually win it.
That's when it, that's when it crushes you because these owners are used to nickel and diming, and they're used to, okay, I've got the TV revenue coming in that pays my way. Me paying players, all that does is take money out of my pocket.
And plus, too, I think anybody can back me up on this, but I think the Guardians are the only team that has traded away 3 Cy Young Award winners.
Well, there's 4.
3 or 4. Okay, who's counting? But I mean,
5 plus. Who knows how many Golden Gloves? Let's not even get that conversation started.
But you're looking at. I mean, you want to go to an NBA game. NBA game, you're paying about $600.
Not if you know
hockey.
A guy.
You go to a hockey game. You go to an NHL game. Our team was a part of it, but we did not go because of the cost. $75 a ticket to go to.
Amazon just bought Bailey's, so they're not bankrupt no more. Now it's belonging to Amazon.
$75 a ticket to go to the Blue Jackets.
Right.
So that my kid could play on the Blue Jackets ice before the Blue Jackets game. Why don't I just pay the Blue Jackets $75?
Right.
Because clearly they need that money more than a youth hockey organization does. The amount of it's not, the owners of all of the major sports franchises, baseball, football, hockey, basketball, are all wondering why the attendance is dwindling. I can spend $75 on food and cook a better spread than you're going to have at your stadium. Feed more people, not have to deal with parking, not have to deal with drunk, idiotic fans, not have to deal with a possible assault charge.
Why would that be a problem, Bruiser?
Exactly. I didn't mean me. I just meant in general. You listen, we've all seen the videos of belligerent fans.
Right.
But you're wondering why attendance is dwindling, and yet you do nothing about it. To me, the only organization, and this is going to sound biased, but if you look at what they do, the only major professional sports organization that literally gets it right with the fans is NASCAR. Look at what it costs to attend a race. About $35 a ticket.
Not for me, but go on.
I'm talking on average. Again, Kevin, just relax.
No, I have a connection with NASCAR. All I got to do is make a phone call. And I can get a hot pass for the weekend.
I know, which I'm going to have to talk to you about because there's somewhere I want to go, and I want to see if you can get me one for the weekend.
All right.
It's my 20th wedding anniversary this year, and I want to take my wife to Talladega for it.
Oh, shit. Be a good one to go to.
Right. So, but like on average, it's about $35 a ticket for a race. If you buy a ticket to the race, most tracks will give you the Xfinity or the truck race free.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and by the way, if you have children, children get in free.
12 and under. Yeah,
12 and under get in free.
12 and under, it's free. Or some like I'm looking up at Michigan right now. Their range is $39 to $135.
And the $135 seats are worth it because they're the ones that are usually way up in the press in the air conditioned suites.
Oh, we got another wreck. And it's Sheldon or the 2-car. And a bunch of
Jesse Love.
I was going to say, it's real interesting to see that the rows 3 through 7 are the $39 tickets, and the 15 through 40 are $70. So the closer you are to the track,
the cheaper it is.
The cheaper it is.
Because you're not going to get a good view. If you're at the top of the track, you're going to see more.
You get a better view. But with parking
$135 a ticket, though.
Huh?
I said, but this is turning out that you're at, you could end up being $76 a ticket for the race.
Parking is included. You get a free pit pass. You get to walk the track. You get to meet the drivers before
you get to sign the wall.
You get to sign the wall, sign the start-finish line. Is baseball letting you walk into the stadium before the game and go to batting practice and go talk to Ohtani or Trout or McCutchen or any of those players if you're just a general Joe Smo? No. The fan access you get in NASCAR, the amenity, and you're looking at Michigan.
Well, I just pulling up.
But you're looking at Michigan. But on average, most tickets are anywhere between $35 and $55 on average.
Like
I said, I just pulling up a track.
I know what you're saying. I'm talking averages. I have a credit with NASCAR right now for about $360 because the race that we were supposed to got rained out Sunday and Monday, and we couldn't go. So NASCAR said, hey, you've got a credit of what you paid for the tickets. It's good for any track NASCAR owns. So that's Daytona, Talladega, that's Phoenix, any track that Michigan, any track that NASCAR owns, that credit's good for. It doesn't include the Speedway Motorsports ones like Bristol and Charlotte, Atlanta, because that's a different organization. But hey, I can't go to Michigan this year, but I got that credit and I got vacation time. I can make it to Talladega in October. I'm going to apply that credit. Like that to me, is MLB doing that? If I buy tickets at the Guardians and the game gets rained out, can I take that credit and go see the Pirates? Can I go if the Browns, something happens to the Browns game, can I take my tickets that I didn't get to use at the Browns game and go see the Jets? No. You want people to attend. You want people to attend your events. Give them a reason to attend.
That's why I think NASCAR is more of the fun experience to begin with. I mean, you get so much more to do for what the price of admission.
Right. I'm sorry. I'll get off my soapbox now.
No.
When have you ever got off of it?
Yeah, I was gonna say
for D&D.
Oh yeah. Well, I could talk about that.
I was gonna say we did wait till Zolt got here to hear about the D&D drama.
Everybody has that one player. Everybody has a rules lawyer at their table.
Oh, Suds was at your house.
A little worse.
Uh-oh.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Zolt.
That's rough. That's rough.
I don't know if that's possible.
We're gonna need to hear.
Yeah.
So I run a homebrew campaign every Sunday at my house. I have for the last year and a half. My group has dwindled and swelled, and it is now a consistent 8 players, which is a good size for a D&D group.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Pretty solid.
And they show up every Sunday, and they're ready to play every Sunday. And they love the story, and they love playing. There is a kid that we just added recently in the last month and a half who played in another group, and I was looking to bring someone in, and I said, I'll give him a try. This individual is on the spectrum and has memorized the D&D books. He memorizes passages from Reddit about D&D. This kid is I call him a kid because he's in his early 20s, but
okay.
This guy is very, very knowledgeable about D&D, but he lacks the social skills and social acumen to express it properly. And over the past 4 or 5 sessions, I have constantly had to remind him that at the table during combat or during an encounter or during an RP moment is not the proper time to question other players on their abilities, their spells, or their stats. Nor do I appreciate him trying to tell other players how to play their character. Culminated last night with one of my very good friends, and Zolt will know this monster instantly. But they were in a dungeon run, and they found a pond with some lily pads and some frog-like creatures crawling around that seemed to resemble little crawling brains. It's a creature known as an intellect devourer. And if you fail an int save, it takes over your body.
Well versed from Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah. Which means barbarians are great targets, because intellect is usually a barbarian's dump stat. So it targeted the barbarian. It won. Barbarian is ridiculously strong and has a ridiculously strong subclass. This kid who questions everything at the end of the encounter said, well, I think you need to show the GM your character sheet so he can see how your hit points are stacked.
Okay, so far sounds like a Suds move. Yeah.
Because at level 9, the character in question is of giant descent. It's frost giant. So it automatically gets +2 to its constitution, which increases its hit points. And it's a barbarian on top of that. So he's
Okay.
rocking out right now at level 9 around 200 hit points. I had already had a conversation with him earlier about not doing stuff like that because my wife has a staff of healing that was it's a magical item. It was a gift in her backstory, which she can cast a 5th level spell through, even though she doesn't have any 5th levels yet. And he's like, well, that's a 5th level spell. You can't cast that. I was like, nope, she can. She can because it's
magical item.
Magical item. So I had to have this conversation with him again. I had to diffuse the whole thing. Everybody left very awkward because it had been a great night up until that point. Because my buddy looked right at this kid and said, if you're going to call me an effing cheater, then call me an effing cheater and we can take care of it right now. And I was like, whoa, we're not doing this.
Yeah, it's not where you want that to go.
No.
I said, we're not doing this. So I had to go talk to a couple other players outside, make sure they were cool because they were kind of perturbed by the whole thing. Not by my buddy, but by this kid who, again did the wrong thing. I come back in. He's sitting on my couch like a 7-year-old with snot and tears running down his face because he's having a meltdown because I yelled at him.
You're so mean.
So then I had to diffuse that, send him home, then take care of my buddy and diffuse him and then send him home. And that was who called me earlier when we were in the green room,
Right.
before we go live, was my buddy, because I asked everybody in our group chat today, I said, I need you to send me your race, your subclass, and your class, because I'm going to do some reading.
So no fisticuffs happened.
Not yet.
Just remember, you do this for fun.
Right.
Oh, I've already told my wife if it gets to that point, I'll kick everybody out of my house and I'll start over with a new group.
Is it that easy or not really?
I mean, yes and no.
Yeah, yes and no is probably that's the best answer to that. Adam,
it's
it'd
like,
be the equivalent of, hey, I don't want any of you guys back next year for fantasy.
So Jim Harbaugh?
And then I need to figure it out from there.
So basically what Sharon Moore's going through right now.
I told the kid
There you go, Bruiser.
Yeah, he'll be back next week, and I'm going to again in front of everybody be like, look, we're not gonna do this.
That's funny.
That's my D&D drama. Told you Zolt would appreciate it.
It's only just begun.
Right.
The fact that they fought a group of 8 level 9 adventurers fought 6 intellect devourers and nearly TPK'd on it is the best part.
It's all good. It's all good. Everything's fine.
Ignore the man behind the curtain.
Just dance puppets. Dance. That was legitimately the best part, was the fact that they still haven't even fought the boss of the dungeon yet.
Oh. That will be interesting.
And most of them are almost out of spell slots.
Short rest.
You don't recover spell slots on a short rest.
Long rest.
They're not
dead people.
The fun part is that I inadvertently did this last night, and I didn't mean to. The whole premise of the dungeon is these fey creatures that abduct mortal beings from the material plane while they're sleeping, because they feed off of the emotions that humanoids cast off while they're dreaming. And they've essentially taken probably 3/4 of this village.
Damn.
And they're all just in a stasis. Think like the Matrix. Remember the pods in the Matrix?
Right.
Think of like a field of poppies of just these beings floating.
Oh, God.
What I did not intend was it brought up the interesting thought of assisted suicide in D&D, where someone said to the boss, what if we went around to other towns and brought you the ones that couldn't be healed and you could just feed off of their energy? And it went into this whole, I was like, I didn't expect Kevorkian to be here.
Whoa. That's a name I haven't heard in a minute.
What alignment are we going for?
Right. What the hell?
I mean, because it really sounds like you're approaching lawful evil.
Very much so.
Yeah, getting into a really dark place. Pretty damn bad.
Well, it's interesting that you bring that up, because I was thinking about that today, and I was kind of like going over it, and I'm gonna give because the boss gave them the option, like, hey, you can take these 2 individuals that you came here for, but you leave the rest. And if you want to go seek out and find other creatures for us to feed on, that's fine. But I'm going to tell the group it's going to knock all of your alignments down to neutral evil to start.
It's literally just, it's like, okay, I'll give you what you want, but you got to start feeding me. Let's go. This is literally you're just now henchmen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those like, hey, and I've got some individuals in the group who are like, I'm lawful good. I have to do the right thing. Well, then you need to fight and kill the boss and free the people.
Right.
Stop trying to be cute and do what you're supposed to do.
Yes.
Right.
I have too many people in the group who are like, well, I don't really like combat. Then we're just talking for 4 hours every Sunday when you come over.
Right. That's yeah.
What's the point of the game? I mean, duh.
And to be fair, there's nothing wrong with that, but you need the entire group to be on board with it.
Yes.
And you're not going to find an entire group that's on board with that.
No. I mean, that's boring.
Help heal your painful skin. Disrupt the itch and rash of eczema. Talk to your doctor about
I'll have to take a picture next Sunday when we play of the boss layout of the boss fight, because you guys will appreciate. Remember the one I sent you for the fight that they went through about a month ago with like all the terrain laid out?
Yeah, that was pretty slick. Yeah.
I'll have to show you they're in the Feywild. That's where they're at, is in the Feywild. I'll have to show you the terrain.
Okay. Yeah, your last one was really nice. That was a really nice layout. That was pretty cool.
I now have a 3D printer, so now I can print stuff.
Awesome.
It's 10:10. We want to get the hell out of here.
Yep.
Yeah,
I was
I'm
going
ready
to
to
say,
run.
we'll turn around and now that we've done our geekdom.
Oh, my boy, the boy child. First round of the playoffs this weekend.
Where? What day?
Strongsville, Sunday, 3:50.
All right. I'll turn around and get info from you later.
OBM Arena in Strongsville, 3:50.
Okay. We'll get info from you later.
All right.
For the rest of America who's watching on Facebook, we'll catch
And
up.
YouTube.
And YouTube. Yep.